focusing on Edu-Tech. We are Educe Analytics, a Sydney-based research, consulting, and corporate access company active in the Australia-India corridor. Efficient organizations hire the best people, and they quickly integrate those people into their culture and work processes. The cost of slow or no integration is immense. Untrained employees can make mistakes, leading to consumer backlash and sometimes regulatory or compliance issues. So how do we get employees on board thoroughly and quickly? Through tech-enabled training, which is easy and engaging. Today, we present Swapnil Pundle, co-founder and COO at Navitus Education. Swapnil co-founded Navitus Education with Shankar Khadye. Navitus is a global provider of tech-enabled learning and development solutions and services. It creates and distributes highly interactive e-learning content, such as story-based, scenario-based learning, and gamification. We welcome Swapnil on the roadshow today. Swapnil, can you please introduce yourself and Navitus?
So thank you. Thanks a lot, Jitendra, for having us on this roadshow. So a little bit about myself. I've been with Navitus for a little about more than 6 years now, and I'm currently playing the role of the Chief Operating Officer. So prior to Navitus, I worked in the technology space for more than 15 years with leading IT companies, insurance companies, and asset management companies. A little bit about Navitus. So Navitus is an e-learning company which offers products for enterprises to train their employees. We've been working in this space for close to 7 to 8 years now. We offer a variety of modules, like we have the basic learning management system. Then we've expanded it to offer micro learning for learning on the mobile. Then we have a very unique game-based learning module, which is based on cricket. So that's one of our very innovative offerings. Besides this, we also have a comprehensive course library. This allows enterprises to get started from day one, so they don't need to really go to multiple places to get content, the product, etc. That said, Navitus continues to invest now to add new features to our product and keep improving our product as the technology evolves. So that's a little bit about me and Navitus.
It's a very interesting sphere. Technology, education, corporate learning, and as you mentioned, even mobile, which is great. So what made you think about Navitus and starting in the LMS space?
Okay, so one of our co-founders, actually, he was in senior IT positions with life insurance companies in India. So he used to head the technology function and was in senior IT roles elsewhere as well. So what he observed there is that the life insurance sector had a lot of employee churn, especially in sales. So there was continuously newer people coming in, the earlier ones leaving, so that kind of thing was going on. And what he found was that there was training these employees and insurance agents was a challenge for the insurance companies. There wasn't a good solution which offered all the different modes of training. You use your desktop, laptop, you have virtual meetings like this, you have mobile learning, along with off-the-shelf content. So this is something he found was a gap. And this actually led him to work towards this idea of starting Navitus. So the whole idea of Navitus is to get your employees quickly on our product and get them started right from day one, so they can hit the ground running.
Very interesting. So I speak to a lot of founders, and the big issue we discover is that there are always those initial hiccup issues, the big issues that you have to face. And then, of course, you try really hard to overcome them. So for Navitus, when you started, what was the biggest hurdle that you faced and how did you overcome those?
So this, all of us actually romanticize this idea of a startup, but for Navitus, right from day one, Mumbai, where we are based, is a very costly real estate market in India. So the first challenge was obviously to find a reasonably good space in reasonable cost. So that started. But that apart, I think the biggest challenge we faced in the beginning was to hire really good people, because the company, especially the technology companies, it's what your company is all about, the people you have. So we had to take a lot of effort to hire the right kind of talent. Many candidates we spoke to, this was a few years back, so they wanted to join the established IT companies in India, the larger companies. So that it was a challenge for us to find the right talent. What happened here is that, let's say traditionally a company might interview 10 candidates to hire and finally hire 2. So we had to actually do more than double that effort. Maybe we hired 25, we interviewed 25 people to hire 2. So we had to put in a lot of effort and time to get the right team in place. Once the team, besides the team, what we had was to choose the technology stack for our product. Now, this was very important to us because this was going to last us for a very long time. We still are on the same technology stack. So we had these choices of Microsoft versus Java versus open source. And so we discussed it with a lot of external people as well whom we knew, and we finally decided to go the open source way. So we didn't actually want to get tied to any proprietary software. So that was one big decision we took in the beginning. And what we found as we went along is that we, needed to continuously upgrade our product, add new features, even keep pace with technology. Like the mobile space is changing really fast. So we don't want, we obviously want to have our product working on the latest iPhones, the latest Android phones. So we need to continuously release upgrades, keep changing, and ensure that we are up to speed on this. So this is the challenge we faced. And we've continuously, of course, upgraded our technology, added new features. Like I mentioned, we have a wonderful game-based learning module based on cricket. And that's how we continuously invested and kept improving our product.
I think a lot of us forget that in technology, you have to keep on running to stay at the same place, because
yes, that is so
changes. That's not easy. And you also mentioned about, I really appreciate the thought about choosing the right technology platform, which you said you put a lot of effort and thought into to make sure it is good, because as you said, you're going to use it for a long term, right? Everything else could be changed, but the core technology is something that you have to be really, really careful about. Now, it's been a long way, Swapnil. So in terms of the products and services, where does Navitus stand now, especially on LMS? And what are your plans for the future?
Okay, so we now have a very stable set of product with multiple e-learning modules. It is being used by both large and small companies. So we have our customers where employee strength ranges from maybe 100 employees to more than 20,000 employees. So it's a robust platform now, tried and tested. We've been through the learning curve, and the product is stable now. One of the good thing is, many of our customers have been with us. They continue to stick to us. So most of our customers are with us for more than 5 years now. We've built a course library which we offer complimentary along with our software. So this course library is more than 50 plus courses now, all relevant for enterprises. And we are continuously adding new content to this. So this gets refreshed every quarter. About where we are going, we continuously get feedback from our customers. So one of the things that we saw is that our product is primarily being used by the salespeople extensively, because they need to get trained on newer products and all the recent changes and everything. And many of our customers, said, do you have anything for sales, any training to help us get salespeople started? Do you have anything on lead management? So based on this feedback, what we are now adding is a module for sales organizations. This is to quickly onboard salespeople, get the sales team trained, on generic sales concepts as well as their products, and some basic lead management itself. So everything is available in one place for the sales people to get started. Our game-based learning module, of course, I mentioned is a very unique module. You can actually play a match with having your employees put into different teams, and it's a very exciting format. Most of our customers have, almost all our customers have actually loved it. Whoever has used it has repeatedly asked for it. And recently what we've done is we looked, especially during this COVID times, we looked at our technology platform and our strength in corporate learning. And we have added a few products for the education sector, that is for schools and for K-12 learning.
So I really like the idea about the cricket thing. So basically you have modules and teams can compete against each other to score points and see whether they have imbibed the learning or not. That's a fantastic way of teaching and training your employees. You also mentioned, Swapnil, about something about mobile now and about keeping pace with the new mobile technology. I think we're talking yesterday about this, and you mentioned about how it is become a must to have a mobile platform. Can you just throw some light on as to why it is required and how do you guys provide? I think you have a special service called Bytes for mobile. Can you throw some light on that?
Okay, so this actually since I mentioned earlier, it's the salespeople who use our training systems a lot. So what we see here is many of the salespeople are actually continuously on the field. They do not sit on their desk, and the companies have also not traditionally provided them a dedicated desk with a computer, and also they have some shared places where they can go to, but they are mostly on the mobile. So we definitely need to offer everything on the mobile. So that's a philosophy we've continuously been following. Whatever is available on the laptop or the desktop is always available on the mobile as well. And the challenge which comes with mobile is, very small attention span. So all of us are just, browsing through messages, you quickly flip across. So we came up with a unique micro-learning tool here, which can help you create quick courses, 5-minute, 10-minute kind of courses, which a person can quickly go through. So unlike the LMS, which would have longer duration content, maybe at least about 25-30-minute kind of thing. So the mobile bite-sized learning tool we have, which we call Navitus Bytes, actually has very short content, short videos, pictures, a little bit of text. So you can quickly publish this content. It can be done in different languages as well. So that is another advantage of the tool. And it can be used like a reinforcement tool. You can actually break up your larger content into smaller chunks and roll it out. So you have small bits of content come in, and it is better for retention also. So you don't go through something which is very elaborate. It helps in all ways, actually.
And that's good to know. So I think, as you mentioned, people are on the move, and they can always use the mobile to either learn or keep on refreshing what. That's pretty interesting. Now, Swapnil, I have seen a lot of Australian companies focus on LMS. It's a very major part of their day-to-day operational activity to make sure that the employees are trained. And as I mentioned, if they're not trained, it could lead to huge issues in terms of consumer backlash, or it can even have regulatory issues because somebody has done something wrong. So if corporates in Australia want to partner with Navitus and explore how they can provide LMS through Navitus, how should they go about it, and what do you have on offer?
Okay, I think you underlined the importance of learning quite well. We've always believed that learning is the foundation of any company. So while some other initiatives might give you revenues in the short term, a well-trained employee base is critical to the long-term success of a company. Regarding the Australian market, now we have a fully ready e-learning system with the learning management platform, which is SCOM compliant. So you can use it with any other content you provide or you already have from other sources. We give a complimentary course library as well, so you can start using it immediately. And it's our onboarding process ensures that we can onboard a company on our system in like 24 to 48 hours. So it's a very quick setup. Regarding any requirements that would be there in Australia, we have a long-standing partnership with Amazon, AWS that is. So along with AWS, we offer an option to host and maintain the entire data within Australia. So if there are any regulatory constraints or any preference for companies to have their data within Australia, we can do that. The entire platform data, everything would reside in Australia. Besides our platform and the complementary course library, we also do custom content development for companies. So here, typically, we try to identify the top 3 or 5 training programs which are very suitable for an online, to move them online. So many times along with our system, we quickly build things like an online induction program or training on certain key products or processes. So this gives a wholesome experience to the companies. So I would say like it's our platform is like Netflix. So you have the technology as well as the movies. So it's a comprehensive offering which companies would get.
Okay. And there was one question one of our clients asked is, in terms of the companies that you're serving right now, what is the scale like? And without giving names, can you give examples of like any areas that they're working in and how do you help them?
So we have, let's say, I would take 2 examples. So we work with one of the banks in India, which is focused on the rural and the underserved markets. So it's not, they do not give like large, they do not deal with large companies. They deal with small, medium enterprises, clients in the rural areas, and they have branches all over the countryside in the country. So the primary challenge they had was to actually roll out some learning tool which can go deeper into the rural areas in India. They may not have the latest mobile handsets. They may not have the best connectivity. So this was the challenge about how we do it. So that is where our micro learning tool, the bite-sized learning, came in handy. So that's a very lightweight tool actually. So it works on different phones. It doesn't require too much of a bandwidth, and you can use it readily on the go. So that is one challenge we solved for them. So what we saw there eventually is, while they started using it for training to train their employees on the different products, processes and all, we eventually found they even send out a lot of their HR updates, any latest happenings in the company. So everything is now communicated through our platform. So our system has become like a communication mechanism for them as well with their employees. That is about a bank.
Just again, go to the next example, Swapnil. So what I learned from this is that if your workforce is spread across the country and they may not have the latest phones or even network for that matter, Navitus can enable you according to different levels of technology, different levels of access, and you can still do it. And the second thing I get is that it's not just LMS. If you want to use this platform because you're connecting to your employees, you can use this for different types of communication, as you mentioned. It could be HR communication or communication about, say, the markets or news or whatever is impacting the company. So I think it's, yeah, I get the point. It's a platform which can be used for multiple.
Yeah, it is something we learned from them. They actually, their CEO started sending out messages through our platform. So they had a lot of company communication updates being rolled out through this. And the only thing why it went was this was a very lightweight platform. Everybody had it. It was easy to use. That's another thing. Actually, it should be easy to use as well. Besides the bandwidth and the phone, it should be intuitive, and people shouldn't really need to be trained on the platform. Yeah. So that's
nobody wants to go to a half an hour, 1 hour compliance training or product training. It's nowadays too long, right? Yeah.
Nobody wants to go for training actually. Even we didn't want to go to school. We wanted to play.
Oh yeah, I stopped you there. Your second example.
Okay, so the next example we have is of a logistics company. So that's a small company. They have about 500 people. The bank that I said has about 20,000 people. The logistics company has about 500 people. The challenge for them was not all their people were well educated. So they actually had people working in their warehouses, and the staff was not all IT savvy or educated. So they needed a system which they could use, still train their employees, and they could actually reach out to them, because it was not possible for them to have classroom kind of sessions with everybody every time. So they were looking for something like that. So another challenge there was not all of them knew English as well. So we actually looked at all these areas, and our product now supports any language. So you can publish content in any languages. So what they have effectively done is they created very short content, short videos, which you don't need too much of expertise to go through, and they created it in different languages. Even our system itself, you can change the language, the menus and all also offer come up in different languages for the user. So this is another innovation for a very small company, but they have been effectively able to train their blue-collar employees.
Yeah. This is very, very true to India, because people do know that there are lots of languages in India. And if you talk to and train people in their own language, I think it's the best solution, because the person also is talking to the client in the local language. So I think if you get the information in your language and you pass the information to your clients or discuss with them, I think it makes a lot of sense. So that's pretty interesting. So from 400 employees all the way up to 20,000 employees, and Navitus is helping organizations of that scale. That is very good to know. There was one question, Swapnil, about it's true in India to an extent, but a lot more in developed nations, especially in Australia, is that for a lot of professions and skills here, there is a training. You have to have a training to do a lot of these roles of work. And once you finish the certification, you have to have a CPD, which is continuing professional development course. So you are supposed to be aware of what is happening. Are there any changes to laws, regulations, and also bite-sized training to employees? Now, a business was asking me about how can an LMS offering also integrate and help corporates do CPD for their employees, or even educational institutions do CPD and give it to their member of the associations or their students.
Okay, so what we have here is we have a ready technology stack. Besides that, we have experts with us in instructional design, in content development. So there's a team which understands development of e-learning content very well. So we would have to map the local knowledge in Australia about these continuous professional development programs and our content development expertise, and quickly come up with solutions which can be offered on our platform. So that's how I would see we go about it. We would essentially we would have our content development experts work with the relevant subject matter experts and quickly come up with e-learning programs for continuous learning.
And host all of this in Australia through AWS, as you mentioned. So
yes. So that is for sure we can host in Australia.
So yep, that was a very interesting conversation, Swapnil. I think I really like the idea of using cricket as a gamification tool, because we in Australia and India and New Zealand, we love cricket, and anything which speaks the language of cricket is very well understood and accepted. So I think, yeah, that's something a lot of our clients will be interested in, to see how they can make teams and let people learn through cricket, which is great. So thank you, Swapnil, for spending your valuable time with us and letting us know about the LMS ecosystem in India, what Navitus is doing, and how you can help your clients train their employees in a more efficient and, as you mentioned, easy manner, to make sure that everybody who is in the company, they say, hey, I want Navitus because I want to learn through my mobile, through Navitus Bytes. I think that's going to be amazing. So thanks once again.
Okay, thank you so much, Jitendra, for having me.
Speak to you soon.